Hi everyone, it's Jackson, Endeavour's time again. I've got a 15 skill set today for the 12th of June. The timestamps or like chapters will be in the description if you're looking to do one of these and you just need help with that, if you just want to skip all the other stuff. So it's an okay set. There's a bit of DLC dependency on this though. If you don't have, so this one requires Summerset. This one it's easiest with Gold Road. There's a few caveats though, but most of the time it's going to require some kind of investment of either Crown Gems, Seals of Endeavour, or Undaunted Keys. It's going to be a bit rough. But if I were to choose, based on like if you have all the prerequisites, Jewel Crafting is going to be easy, Mementos is really easy, and then active skill styles is also really easy. But if you don't have a skill style here, if you don't have Gold Road or if you don't have the skill styles, this is going to be annoying. And if you don't have Summerset, you can't do this one either. So you're stuck with these three options. Siege Options isn't too bad, and yeah, Mementos is really easy, but the trial is definitely going to be the slowest. You might get really lucky and find exactly the trial like that you can do, and it might have 11 people, but odds are this one is going to take way longer than any of the other options combined. There are some times where I've been in a trial group, there's been like 6 members, and it takes another like hour to get the other 6 members. And then the trial itself doesn't take long, it's like 20 or 30 minutes, maybe like 10 or 15 if it's like Cloud Rest or something. But yeah, these can take quite a while, and yeah, all these other options are fucking super quick. Okay, without further ado, let me start with active skill styles. So this is just skills that are reskinned or recolored. To know if a skill can be recolored, there is an icon here. It looks like the skills icon with a little paintbrush on it. Now, even if you might not have them, and that's the thing. There's 3 options that you want to look at. So firstly is if you have access to Gold Road, you can do the scribing quest line, and that has a couple of good options. So I made this here graph. So this is the first quest, and then you go down, and these are the quests you do later. So there's 2. So there's Soul Trap, Orchid Purple. This one's the very first one that you get. And then you also get, so if you complete second area of Scribing, Wing of the Indrik, and then get to Wing of the Netch and complete that, you also get Vigor Soothing Blue, which is probably your best option. But if not, you've got these other ones. So Soul Magic, Soul Trap, Orchid Purple, this is the very first one you get. And yeah, you can see in Alliance War, you've got Vigor in it, Soothing Blue. So yeah, Wing of the Netch, that's what you want to do. After you do Wing of the Netch, you don't really have to do anything related to skill styles for it to be really easy. That's all you need, just Vigor Soothing Blue. Now if you don't have that, obviously you can use your Orchid Purple. There are a couple of other options though, so let me go through them. So firstly, if you go into the store and you type in skill, it'll give you other skill styles that you can buy via Seals of Endeavour. You can also buy them with Crown Gems as well, if that's something you want to do. I know it's a bit of an investment here, both in Seals and in Gems, but once you have this, you don't need anything else to do skill styles, and it's like super duper easy. It's one of the easiest endeavors to do in the game if you have one of the skill styles. So I would advise, if you have some seals to spend, you only need 2,000 in this case, which does take a few weeks, but from this point on, you can just do this endeavor really easy. It's something I would recommend. So either do that or like one of those options. The other one, if you don't have any seals or gems and you do want to have a try, if you've got keys, quite a few of them, you can get one of these options here. Twin Slashes Lilac Purple, you can get this basically immediately with Dual Wield if you level it up just a slight bit. It's like a couple of minutes of killing stuff. And then same with Snipe. Basically, as soon as you kill an enemy with like one enemy with a bow, you'll unlock Snipe as well. So that's 2 options there that are easy. These 2 here can be applied without a target though, so they're also valuable. But leveling up two-handed takes a little while to get these, because this is the last option, this is the third option. I think it's like two-handed 14 you need to get to this one. So it is a little bit of an investment. And then you've also got these 2 here. You've also got Uppercut as well, which is 20 keys, but that one also requires a target, and it's just like... Actually, no. Either of these 3 options are all really easy to get to. So they just require a target, that's the only thing. Regeneration also is really easy to get and doesn't need a target, but it requires 40 keys, which is a fucking lot. So yeah, all of these options here. If you have no other alternatives and you just want to be able to do an easy endeavor, yeah, you can get one of these. Now, if you have Orchid Purple, it's one of the easiest to get, and you don't have a target, just go up to anything and just spam the skill over and over. Because it takes a while for the damage to actually kick in. And even like really weak enemies, you'll only do small amount of damage before you actually get this one done, as you can see. Now, if that's not something you want to do, you can also use guild halls. Because with guild halls, they'll have like target skeletons. I guess you could also use a world boss, they take ages to kill anyway. But yeah, you can also use like guild halls or someone's home. Any home that just has one target skeleton, even if it's just like the 3 mil or even the 200,000 health ones, anything like that is good enough. So if you know somebody who just has a house as a target skeleton, just go there and do that. But yeah, usually I would just go guild halls. If you need a guild hall, I'll put one in the description for EU PC and NA PC. I don't have any for console, unfortunately, but yeah, you just look through home tours. I'm sure you'll find one that has a target skeleton in it somewhere. You just look for something that says like craft hall or guild hall or something. Yeah, Horizon of Hope GH. I think guild hall usually means is GH. Yeah, crafting alley. Maybe try that. Something like that. I don't know. Okay, mementos. So to find where you can use memento, it's found here in collections, uKey on keyboard by default. Now there's two I would suggest you get. There's the paid option, which is good, and then the public dungeon option, which I think is slightly better, but it's not super important. Basically, Glenir's Smoke Orb is the one from a public dungeon. If you go to Malaval Tor into the Crimson Cove, complete the quest for Glenir, and he'll give you that orb, and it has like a cooldown of 3 seconds. That's the reason I suggest this one, just because the cooldown is so short. But the other option can actually be bought from guild stores, the Cherry Blossom branch. So if you just type in, if you go to Guildhall, go to consumables, and I think container is where it's found. Some of these can count too. I think that's considered a memento too. But what you're looking for is just type in cherry. Yeah, Cherry Blossom Branch. That's what you're looking for. It's not always there, but Cherry Blossom Branch, yeah, you look at this, like 100 gold, 500 gold, 1,000 gold. You buy it and it's a one-time thing, and then from that point you can just use Cherry Blossom Branch as many times as you need. Literally just activate it, wait for the cooldown, and then activate it again. That's the Mementos one done. And anytime this one comes up, you just do this. You just get your Cherry Blossom Branch, or your Smoke Orb if you end up getting that one, and you just cast it. The reason I suggest these two is the cooldowns are really low. Some of them, for example, the Lantern, Almalex's Lantern, that's like 30 seconds. So it's like, why wait 30 seconds when you can just do it in like 5 seconds? It's just practicality sense. And then there's also jury crafting. So all you have to do is go find a jury station, assuming you have Summerset. If you have ESO Plus, you'll also have access to this, because Summerset's part of ESO Plus. So all you need is 8 pewter ounce to craft 4 rings, and then, yeah, that's it. You just craft them. If you have, if you've done the RIT certification, you can also do RITs, and 2 RITs will be enough to complete this. So you can just do it on 2 characters. And it is worth doing RITs if you can, because RITs give you a couple of things. They give you surveys, which I talked about the other day. Surveys are great, especially the jury crafting surveys, because sometimes jury scenes are annoying to get. You also get, you can get the upgrade materials, like especially chromium plating and zircon plating, which can be quite expensive, both to use, like to get yourself or to sell for your own gold. And you also get, you get gold, you get more platinum. Yeah, it's just couple of things. It also counts for completing quests in whenever those endeavors come up. There's just lots of good stuff that you can do with RIT. So yeah, I do highly suggest getting access to RITs if you can, especially the highest tier of RIT, where you get the best chance of like chromium platings and stuff. It is an investment, both in time and in skill points, but let me tell you, as someone who's been playing this game for a while, it is absolutely fucking worth it. Alright, so next up, I'll talk about siege weapons. So, important thing to note, it states in the tooltip to play as guards or keep, but that is a load of shit. You can attack anything with a health bar that is hostile to you, and it will count. So what I suggest you do is just go to the campaign where your faction is doing the best. It's not super important, like just as long as they're basically not getting absolutely wrecked, that it'll be fine. Because you want a couple of keeps to be under your control. I'll explain why in a second. Firstly, we need to make sure that... Yeah, okay, cool. So, as long as... It depends on your alliance. So, these 2 keeps here, these 2 keeps here, and then these two keeps here. Whichever alliance you are, just make sure they're the same color as yours. The reason for that is these gates are closed as long as your faction owns it, and that means in these areas here, enemy players can't actually come in and annoy you. You know, the odds of them coming to attack you if you go to these certain locations is going to be pretty bloody low. So maybe if you're not concerned about like PvP, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you don't like the aspect of PvP, just make sure these gates are closed. Usually there's one campaign where your faction is fine. So you need two things. You need a target, which is easy to get, and you need a siege weapon, which may be slightly more annoying to get. Main reason for that is they cost a bit of gold. So you want a 5-volt ballista. These cost 750 gold to buy from these guys. The only reason I would buy them here is just like convenience. But what you can do is also go on guild stores. Maybe while you're looking for that memento, if you don't have one, you can actually buy these things on guild stores, and they will be usually way cheaper than buying them from these siege vendors. These things, yeah, you can see it's like 10 gold or like 100 gold on average. You know, that it's way cheaper doing that, and I'd suggest doing that if you can. But the only thing you have to make sure is that the ballista that you buy is the one that your alliance is. Because if you try and use a packed ballista on a Aldmeri Dominion character, it's not going to work. You can only use your faction-specific ones. Just keep an eye on which one it is. Like, it'll say Dominion, Pact, or Covenant. Just make sure it's the right faction for you. Alright, so now we need a target. So there's 3 locations I suggest you use. There's lots of these all over the place. And you can also use enemy resources. That's another good one. Because you can shoot the guards at a resource and they basically never die if you're far enough away. And they won't actually attack you, they just sit there and do nothing. Make sure in your quick slots you have the siege weapon there. Because it's like a potion, you just activate the quick slot button and then you can place it on the floor. So every gate and every keep has a siege vendor. You just got to look for them on the map. So they'll be called siege merchants or armsmen. Some of them are have weird tooltips. Like this one, for example, Ashi's is actually the siege merchant, but it says general goods. I don't know why. They never fixed it. Yeah, just look for anything that says siege vendor or armsman, anything like that. So what you're doing is traveling out. So you're going to travel to one of these locations here. So for Aldmeri Dominion, my favorite personally is this one. And then the versions for Daggerfall is here, and then the version for Ebonheart Pact is here. These are all the same thing. So they have like a shrine with a couple of golden saints in them. And the reason these are helpful is because these golden saints can be attacked with siege weapons, and it counts to the endeavor. You can also use some of these. Some of them work, some of them don't. It's fucking weird. If I hit it with that one, it counts, but you can see the amount of damage it requires to get that. It's so infinitely small. Whereas if that's why I suggest using these things, because it's so much quicker. The best one would be the Scattershot Catapult, because it hits like heaps of enemies at once, but that doesn't work for some reason for the siege endeavor. I don't know why. Some siege weapons do work, some don't. It's fucking bizarre. Anyway, so these are the shrines. They all look the same. They have this like, they're sheer growth shrines. So what you want to do is set up your siege in a way that is close enough to fire at them, but is far enough away that when they come after you, they de-aggro. Because what will happen is when they de-aggro, they get all their health back. And if you only hit one, for example, if you shoot them with the siege weapon again, they die. Which isn't great for other people, because it means they can't do the siege endeavor if they want to do it too. So just for convenience for other people, just try and leave them alive. But it's not a big deal. As long as there's only one left, it's fine. So this is why I like Aldmeri Dominion's one, because you can put your siege weapon actually on this rock if you time it correctly. Yeah, so I'll put it here. And what happens is you shoot them, and they can't actually get to you, so they just de-aggro almost immediately. So you shoot them, hit them with siege. Look at that, I hit all 3. And immediately I get it done. That's why you want the 5-volt ballista, because it does damage over time as well. So literally one shot is all it takes. Now I just put this thing away. And as you can see, they can't come to us, so they're just going to de-aggro and get all their health back. There we go. So now they get all their health back. So if we come closer, yeah, you can see their full health again. So anytime you need to do this siege weapon one, that's what I do. I just come here and kill those guys with the 5-volt ballista. Well, I don't kill them, I damage them. Yeah, so 2 shots will kill them with the 5-volt ballista. So if you can keep them alive, it's valuable for other people. But it's not super important, because they respawn pretty quick. like the odds of another player being there at the same time is it's going to be quite low, I think, because most people will be doing the other options anyway. All right, now the last option, it's trial. So if you want to join a group for a trial, there is a group finder section with trial, and you can see some people are starting a scene's cage. This is a new trial. The problem is a lot of these trials are DLC required, so if you don't have the DLC, you can't do them. And it can take ages for the group to form up. So 2 damage dealers, but every trial has a max of 12 people, and most trials you're going to want 12 people. There's some that actually require it. Like Arthurian Archive, one of the base game options, requires you to have 12 people because there's portals that you can't go through unless you have all 12 people. And sometimes they just it takes so long just for the group to form. But the trial itself, like the normal trials, most of them are pretty straightforward. As long as you know your roles, like tanks, just make sure you're taunting and have a bunch of skills just to make sure you don't die, like heals and damage resistance and shit. Healers, just make sure you have a lot of AoE heals, and just try and like heal as many people as possible. I know sometimes damage dealers just run all over the place. Don't take it personally if people die and then blame you. It's not your fault usually. People just don't understand sometimes how to... Anyway, it's not important. Just healers, just make sure you can heal people. Try and bring a couple of buffs too, like damage buffs and stuff like that. And damage healers, just make sure you know who the right targets are. Like, for example, in Dreadsail Reef, you just want to make sure all the... what are they called? Keel cutters. Make sure the keel cutters die first, and the brewmasters die as well, because I think they're more important to kill than other stuff. But yeah, just make sure you understand how damage healing works. But yeah, usually these normal trials are really easy. Like, they don't have any DPS checks, and a lot of them don't have many insta-kill mechanics unless you really fuck up. So if you want trial guides, Outcast has a bunch for each of the trials. These tend to be more geared for veteran. So just understand that some of these things are not important for normal. It's like some of the insta-kills aren't important, but they can give you a basic rundown of like all the relevant information. There's also... I like Synode stuff, but he has... he doesn't have everything done with the newer ones. Like, Dreadsail is still not done. I have a video on Dreadsail if you want to watch that. It's for normal, but it's very long, so it'll take a lot of explaining. But yeah, you can look up some of the stuff he does too, and then there's like things where people explain basics and stuff, so there's tons of information out there if you want to know about trials. But yeah, just understand it will take the longest out of any of these options. I guarantee it. Alright, so if you have any other questions about anything, as always, just let me know. But yeah, that's daily's done. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I will see you all next time, and take care.